Good evening, sports fans. On a gorgeous evening at Centennial High School, North Metro TV presents high school girls lacrosse. Tonight, the Armstrong Falcons visiting the Centennial Cougars in a Northwest Suburban Conference regular season matchup. Both of these teams now outside of the throes of winter that really threw their entire schedule off. Now they can get down to the business at hand of finding out just what kind of teams each one of them has this season. Good evening once again. J.W. Cox here on North Metro TV. It's the Cougars against the Falcons. Two teams both trying to figure out what exactly they have going into this abbreviated and packed spring schedule. After being delayed, not much practice for the Cougars. Not a lot of games, just one under the belt for Armstrong, none for the Cougars of Centennial. But both teams a little bit different idea of what they might have. Armstrong, a great season last year, and they bring a lot of returners back. The Cougars of Centennial last year, up and down. They did win a sectional playoff game, but they also lost 85 to 90% of their scoring last year to graduation. So a lot of new faces up front and on defense to figure out what kind of season it can be for the Cougars. This one about to get underway. Game number 1 for the Cougars. Game number 2, the first in conference for Robbinsdale. And the draw is up and scooped up at midfield, won by the Falcons. They're in red, going right to left here in this first half. 10 seconds in. Armstrong looking to go on the attack. A bit of a bobble on the ball on the far side. We'll get you a look at some of the starters as we get underway here on North Metro TV. A gorgeous day today into a gorgeous evening. Armstrong already attacking and a great save already for the goalkeeper, Alicia Georgie. As she slings it down, looking to go in transition. It's poked away by the Falcons, but then scooped up by Centennial in white. So Georgie in goal, starting things for Centennial, and already making a good save on what could be a very potent offense for the Armstrong Falcons, according to their head coach, Bill Moyer. A lot of returners, as mentioned, but right now it's Centennial out ahead of the pack with the chance to get into the net and score just a little bit wide left. And it's going to stick with Centennial as the Cougars will get another chance. Around with it, Jenna Brolin behind goal. Looking to get into the offense on the other side. Coach Gary Nelson saying his Cougars need to learn to be patient this year. Get into the set and control the ball. The other team doesn't have the ball. He said it's very basic. The other team doesn't have the ball. They can't score. A whistle, and it's coming back to Armstrong. A lot of those same words echoed for Coach Moyer. As it's going to come down to his team being very patient. They had a lot of turnovers in their only game against the Blake School. And you can see that in the scores. There's another long attempt at a shot that brought Georgie all the way out of the goal. As you take a look at what the visiting Armstrong Falcons send into the game for the starters. In goal, Isabel Snow. She's got some experience, but then the real experience with those attackers right up top. Haley Holdall, Amy Master, Haley Hatton, Kelsey Ostick, Stephanie Olson coming back after last season, all combining to score 130 points for the Falcons. They're a little young at some of the front defender positions, midfield, back defenders, very strong, according to Coach Moyer. But they're bringing in 2 new players to the game on defense. We'll talk about that as we go along as well. Right now, it's Centennial on the offensive side. We're just coming up under 2 minutes, just over rather, 2 minutes into this game. One real shot for the Falcons of Armstrong that was turned away by Georgie, the goalie for Centennial. Centennial keeping it in their own zone, having trouble actually securing the ball in their stick, but they've had it on this side of the field for most of the game. And that right there, you see the issue as the cross-field pass goes just off the stick here near side. Eventually it is scooped up. That's Desiree Siraki. Eventually turning it over. Armstrong looking to go back the other way. Coach Moore knows that they have a lot of scores on this team, so wants them to attack first. That's their first offense, the A offense, as you see right here. Spinning towards the goal is Haley Holdall, and she'll sling it through as Holdall gets goal number 1 for Armstrong, and that was the attack that Coach Moyer wants to see. Holdall just taking it all the way from midfield. As you get another look, she wasn't even looking to give it off. She had good defense right in her face, but gets the shot just inside that left side of the goalie pole. And it's 1-0. So Holdall at the 21:54 mark puts Armstrong up 1-0. Holdall, one of those attackers that brings a lot of experience into this season. Again, a draw one, and Holdall's out in front again, and again she scores, this time just right of goal. Haley Holdall up a great pass up the field. And again, you see the attacking nature of Armstrong. It's been there these 2 times, but Coach Moyer wants to make sure his team knows when it's not there, pull it out. And they've got B&C offense. Take a look, long pass down, and then inside the right side of the goalie for Holdall as Armstrong gets their second goal. So Armstrong off the win of a draw after their first goal. Now they win a draw again as they go right side, second pass towards the net, and that time Georgie just able to angle it off, nearly got it taken right out of her net. Right out of her stick, that is. Tried to get it up the field, stolen away. Some of that midfield defense right there coming to fruition for Armstrong. So hold on, the first 2 goals of the game. Coming within a couple of minutes, well, rather a couple of seconds. And now a whistle as it's going to stay with Armstrong. Some good midfield defense. You see Kaylee Reinhardt there right in the middle of all of that to help with this 2-0 lead at the 20:55 mark. As Armstrong again, they go off right side, and the goal slips in that time for Amy Master. So Holdall with 2, Master with a third, and already at the 20:51 mark, as you get a look at Master's goal, it's 3-0. So Master receives the pass again, good ball movement, and just no chance one-on-one with the goalie right there. 20:51 mark. Master with the score.
Scoring for Armstrong, number 5, Amy Master.
Another draw, another time, won by Armstrong, and they're going to go right back on the attack. So this is going to be huge for Centennial. They have to figure this out. Can't keep giving the ball right back. There, another shot again, and another goal again. That's Kelsey Ostick. Just off to the left. We'll take a look at the replay, and that was great movement into the zone. Yet again, it's almost like 4 carbon copy goals. Rather, the first was a one-on-one, but the last 3 have all been off an outstanding pass. And once Ostick got it right there to the right side of the net, Georgie had no chance. Lighting up the scoreboard for Robbinsdale Armstrong. At the 20:39 mark, they get goal number 4. And again, they win a draw. And again, they've got numbers right back the other way. Nobody a chance to breathe. Right in front of goal, a shot, and that time, one-on-one, it was Haley Hatton getting in and scoring. Not only 6 unanswered goals, make it 5 unanswered goals, but all coming in just over 1 minute. As you look at Hatton just getting the step right past her defender. It was Kelsey Billingsley trying to stay in step with her. Couldn't do it, but it all comes back to right here. As the senior you see there, Hatton, picking up the goal at the 20:28 mark. So all this started at the 21:54 mark of this first half. And so a minute and 26 seconds later, it's 5-0. Finally, Centennial wins a draw and maybe stop the bleeding just a bit. A whistle, but it's coming back to Armstrong. And so this has to be one of the worst nightmares for Coach Nelson, knowing that he's coming into a game. He's not really exactly sure what kind of team he has. He knows they need to be patient. He knows they need to control the ball, and so far they have not done that. Again, quickly into the offensive zone, wide open off to the left. The ball is tipped away. And there again, it's Hatton with it, left side of goal, and this time we'll actually see the secondary offense for Armstrong as they have to slow it down. Hatton looking for somebody in the middle. As Holdall, she scored the first 2 goals, and she's wandering around the net. Hatton has it right back off the left side. Swing it around down below the goal line. And now you can see that Armstrong, a well-disciplined team, they know they can attack, but they also know they can be patient. Now waiting for that zone. Cutting in there for Baton. And she'll sling it off, but a whistle first. Ball did find the back of the net, but the whistle came first. As we welcome into the broadcast booth, Rosie Erickson.
Here I am.
Rosie, thanks for joining us. You're just hopping all over the place. You started out on camera. There's another shot. Maybe you'll bring a little bit of defensive luck in for Centennial, as that was for Benton that time.
This is unbelievable, though. 6 already for Armstrong. You know, I've been watching, at least on camera upstairs, and so this has been crazy. Do you think, you know, they're going to be able to come back, the Cougars?
They have to find a way to control the ball. As you look at Verbetten scoring that first goal of her for the game. So 2 for Hold On. You're exactly right. It's tough to think about, Rosie, even coming back from a deficit like this. The fact that it's come all in just over 2 minutes now with 6 straight goals certainly has to be in the back of the mind in Centennial. One thing should be noted, of course, Armstrong last year tied for the lead, or tied for the title, I guess, in the Northwest Suburban Conference at 8-1. And Robbinsdale actually wins the draw by default that time, so they're right back with Armstrong on the attack. Quickly into the zone they go. And off of that great season that took them to a sectional final game where they lost last year to Minnetonka, Coach Moyer knows that this team has the potential to go to the state tournament. And he set that as the goal. And, Rose, you can certainly see that, scoring 6 unanswered. They seem to have an inside track.
All I've seen so far is the Falcons penetrating their zone, offensively. They haven't even had to handle their defense at all.
And the defense, at least deep towards the net, is the only thing really Coach Moyer is unsure of with 2 new players. There's another shot. Stopped by Georgie, but the rebound is back up into the stick of Verbetten. And she'll put it down for her second goal. 7-0. And Verbetten back-to-back goals. And you see one stop by Georgie. She went right off her foot, couldn't corral it. Verbetten right in the right spot. And, Rosie, that's like hockey. When the shot goes on goal, you just crash and you might get a rebound. So at the 18:32 mark, Armstrong scores again. See if Centennial can get the draw. Rosie, if they're going to come back, that's a start right here in midfield, and they lose another draw. Ball's loose for a moment. Good defense there to poke it away, but I think a trip's going to be called, and we're coming back the other way. You talk about Centennial losing 85 to 90% of their scoring, according to Coach Nelson, with Michaela Schwartz off to play Division I lacrosse. That's one thing, but so far, Centennial, since about the 22-minute mark, has not had the ball in their offensive zone. A penalty's going to be upcoming. So Armstrong's going to keep it here. But it's a beautiful day for lacrosse at the very least.
It's been amazing out today. How many games got canceled?
So far, it was the first game of the season for Armstrong was postponed. And that was supposed to take place back on the 15th, as there's another goal again for Armstrong coming back the other way. That time, it was Stephanie Olson. So everybody getting into the act, and that's exactly what Coach Moyer told us, is Olson just blitzing right for the net. Put it over left shoulder of the goalie.
There's no hesitation at all from any of the Falcons. They just go for it.
Supreme confidence, and that's something Coach Moore knew he had on the offensive side, and we've seen it here. But mentioning those games canceled, Rosie, there's just one for Armstrong that was supposed to take place on the 15th, and then they played against the Blake School. So far, it was 2 for the Cougars' official games that were canceled. But the other thing is you don't get a lot of practice time either.
Right.
Even here at Centennial, when they have the nice turf field that allows them to play these games, they weren't sure what the practice fields were going to be like even today. As the shot goes off and wide, and Centennial will take over, but deep on the other side. A goal right here, or a goal sometime in the next minute or so. I guess just a goal at all would be huge for Centennial. But so far, can't seem to get it out of the offensive zone of Armstrong. Verbetten, back-to-back goals a moment ago. Right in front of the net with the pass and a shot. That time deflected off by Georgie. She's been under siege over there so far in this game. Centennial had it, got it back. They're losing it for a moment. The pass towards midfield is bobbled, but then picked up. And now Centennial sprinting downfield. All behind Lauren Kolak, who's going to have to be a scorer. She had it taken away. Kolak, one of the names Coach Nelson talked about that has to step up and be a scorer for this team. And that time you saw at least she has some aggressiveness there, but good swarming defense by Armstrong. And it's going to be Centennial. Megan Longan will start with it. And you look at Armstrong, Rosie, they haven't had to be on defense much, but you know they know what they're doing. It's just swarming to the ball once they get about inside that 40-yard line. Ball poked away for a moment, but Centennial does control. Looking for a shot here at this point. A good stepping move by Siraki to get inside the defense, but then she lost it. It was a great first move. And now we'll see what Armstrong can do in transition along the full field. They throw it away once. Deep defender picks it up for Centennial.
Centennial has yet to break through to the offensive zone. We just got to see that and get some shots out of them.
Shots are the first step, then the goals will come as Maddie Kuntz takes it into the offensive zone. A couple of pushes and shoves, and she drops it once but recovers. Swarming defense yet again. A long pass in towards the goal is poked away, but Centennial recovers yet again. They get it to Siraki, going right down the middle of the field. They'd love to find a way to get within 10 feet of the goal, and that time a push, and that's going to help them. As I think that time they caught Kristen Page with the push.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to, girls.
Siraki right towards the net and gets a goal. Big time for Centennial. As Desira Siraki, no hesitation. And you watch this right off the whistle to go. Took it right at the defense and a good bouncing shot. There's going to be a lot of goals that you can score if you can put it on the ground and bounce it.
Well, the good thing is their percentage is high. First shot on net has been in. So they have that going for them. And if they could just get a few more.
14:52 mark. So what you're saying then, Rosie, is just take a lot of shots because so far you're 100%.
Exactly.
Can't lose anything. At 8-1, Centennial on the board. Now let's see if they can win a draw and go right back on the attack. So far, that hasn't been the case. Siraki with the goal. It'll be her first of the season here in this first game. The draw. Bobbled around, still loose. A whistle, and it's going to come to Armstrong. And right away, you can see that once Coach Nelson gets them back in practice, they're going to have to work on those draws and face-offs. That's the best, or it's the first line of defense, obviously, to keep the ball in the other team's hands. Armstrong quickly into the offensive zone. That time a good shot turned away by Georgie. A whistle, and it's going to come back to Centennial. To the dismay of the Armstrong squad. Didn't think she quite stepped out of bounds, but Centennial coming back with it. Have to make the most of these opportunities. Plenty of time here in the first half. 14-10 to go. And it's turned over. These starters for Armstrong, as they'll keep it. Just so much experience, Rosie, from a team that went 8-1 in conference, won 11 games. That was the second most of anybody in the conference. 2 sectional victories before losing to Minnetonka. He's also a top 10 team this year. Another shot, that time turned away. And again, Centennial will get possession back of goal. Must seem like a mile and a half away, though, to get through all those red jerseys. They've had to do that most of the time, and there it's poked away early. And Armstrong keeps it. Good Armstrong contingent here in the stands at Centennial. Festive atmosphere. I think everybody's just happy to be outside in some nice weather.
It's about time.
It is about time. A good cross-field pass to get it right into the middle. Burning in there towards the net for Benton. Put the shot just off right side of goalie. Back right in front. Low shot turned away. Georgie with a great save there. She's doing her best to make sure that they don't go down by any more, but her teammates have to find a way to get it out of the zone. They can't there. Good steal. Right in the offensive zone. That time taking it away was Hatton. Hatton into the front of the net and couldn't get it in, and a whistle. And a little too aggressive. I think a check to the head there, or a stick to the head. We'll take the second look. Hatton, unafraid, diving right in. That was her shot just a moment ago. Centennial had it.
Georgie having to keep her defensive stance this entire game so far.
Not a lot of room to breathe, and she won't have it here. It's right in front of her. She'll watch Haley Hatton, number 7, there on the right side of your screen. Undoubtedly burn right towards the net. And she does. 1-4 steps right in, and it's scooped away and off the net. So Georgie, who is in her first season full-time in goal. As Coach Nelson was talking about the fact last year they only had 1 goalie. Now on all the squads they've got about 4. And Georgie putting on a good show despite the fact that the ball's been in front of her pretty much all game. 12:20 to go here in the first half. Georgia will scoop it up. Sling it all the way towards midfield. That might be their best bet if they can get somebody down there, but Armstrong's midfielders are first to it. And a turn and a split of the defense for Sasek. 1 pass off to the right. there for Hatton. Hatton attacking on goal again, and this time she finds it over the top of the stick of Georgie. And Haley Hatton scores her second goal. So Hatton with 2, Verbetten with 2, Holdall with 2. As you get a look at Hatton's second, that time she just goes up top. Maybe a little too far out of the box for Georgie. Out of that space up top, it's 9-1. Goal coming at the 12:01 mark, so at least they took a little time, a full 5 minutes and 39 seconds between goals that time for Robbinsdale. Centennial will look to regroup. Hatton there with 2 goals.
Can the Cougars win this draw? They have yet to win
There's
one.
a good win, but the whistle is going to bring it. Okay, no, Centennial's going to keep it. And they'll just start with it at midfield. So 1 break at least for the Cougars. As that was a good win that time. Officials getting everybody set. It's always a fluid game on the field in lacrosse. As Natalie Bruce takes it right towards net. Natalie Bruce still with it. That time just slipped out of the stick. Tries to recover. She might have had a good shot right there.
Right.
Just lost the handle on the heel of the stick, but Centennial will keep it deep in their offensive zone. So the 2 storylines for Robbinsdale Armstrong coming into this game were, would their offense show up again with plenty of experience, and what kind of defense would they have back near the net? So far, haven't had a lot of chances to see that second storyline, but right here, Armstrong with a chance to show what they do have, a whistle, and we'll reposition everyone at the 11-minute mark. The running clock here in the first half. The official getting some counting practice in, I guess.
Yeah, that's what he was doing.
Making sure not too many in the zone.
He's seeing double.
Hopefully it's only double.
Right.
North Metro TV here with Centennial hosting Robbinsdale Armstrong. Centennial's first game of the season, the first conference game for Armstrong. They played the Blake School and got beat pretty handily. Armstrong with it off of the whistle, but it's taken back. At least poked away in the zone, still loose. Bruce picks it up and then had it bumped away. Good control back in the defensive zone that time by Kaylee Roy for Armstrong. She'll look to push it up the field. Long way to go, and the pass slings it free. Madison Howry running loose up right side, has a couple of defenders come, hit with the stick, bounces it up into the air, is taken away by Centennial. So good back defense that time. Combination of a couple of players. Kelsey Billingsley right in with that. She'll leave it up the field, but it's pulled out of the air. Back the other way by Holly Enderly. Enderly pushed it into the offensive zone, leave it off left side. Mariah Haberly. Hold it there. You could hear the coaching staff from the far side calling to settle down, but a push is going to be called. Looks like against Centennial. So Ostick with a goal to her credit. We'll clear it out. Nobody in front, charges right to the goal now, changes back right, looking for somebody to cycle in. Has a player in there. Mishandled for a moment, and that allowed Georgie to stop right on it. Looking to get inside. Couldn't do it.
You're right. I think their best bet is to really make the long distance passing.
For Centennial to clear it out of that zone instead of trying to run through all those red jerseys.
Absolutely. If they can have the strength to pass it across field.
And know that there's going to be a teammate down there.
Right.
Carly Tashner. She'll get the running start at it. Inside the defensive zone, 3-on-3. Tashner will keep right up the middle. She has a player to each side and decides to spin it in herself. Split the defense with a good move. So Carly Tashner gets a second goal, and at the 8:33 mark, look at that. One step, beat 2 defenders, and then went low side on the goalkeeper, Isabel Snow.
You know what was impressive is her footwork before she got there to take that shot. She really worked it through about 3 defensive players.
I think the defensive players were thinking like I was thinking, that she was going to pass it off to one side or the other.
She was committed.
Off guard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know you've got a basketball background. Sometimes you're on a 3-on-2 fast break. Sometimes you want to pass it off to the side. Sometimes the fake is your best ally.
Mm-hmm. Depending on your skill level.
Absolutely.
I might trip. Who knows?
You took it to the basket every time, didn't you?
Not going to say anything.
Centennial trying to win the draw again, and they do. They're down by 7 with 8:25 to go. And again, pushing it right into the zone. This time it looked like Sam Lund getting it in there. A reset. Lund has it again, but it was poked right out of her stick. She had a defender come from the blind side, and it was poked out by Mariah Haberly. Loose again near midfield. It's going to come back to Centennial. So step by step, Centennial, I think, getting a little more comfortable. This is their first game. They had a scrimmage all the way back on the 6th of April. In towards the net again. Shot just deflected off wide, and it's going to stay with Centennial. Looks like that was Kaylee Colvard, excuse me, that got in there with that shot, so she's going to pick it back up and actually sling it out to the left. Put into play by Natalie Brust. Positioning Brust well off to the left. And another practice for Centennial came on the 26th. Well, no, today is the 26th. This is their first game. They had 2 full field practices. One came this week. 20 days between the last time they scrimmaged and basically played and today. And certainly punched to the mouth, down 8-0. Trying to get back into it. A good shot. But that time, 0-0. Isabel Snow turns them away. 7 minutes to go. Isabel Snow back in goal as a sophomore this year for Armstrong. She was in there as a freshman on that team that went 8-1. And they've got plenty of confidence in her. She hasn't really had to show much today just yet. Jenna Brolin puts it in play. The shot for Brust goes off left. Centennial will keep.
Showing a lot more, Centennial out here. You know, they're working it a lot more on offense, so that's good. They're keeping it over there. Last few minutes have been strong.
Another shot, that time bouncing just wide. For Centennial, Armstrong tries to track it down, but Brust will instead get to keep it. We're looking off to our right a whole lot more here late in the second half with first half with 6:15 to go. 9-2 is an 8-0 run. Wipe that away, and Centennial's up by 1, 2-1. There's a 2-minute stretch of a scoring onslaught for Armstrong. Ball put in the middle near the net. Trickles to Brust behind it. Swarming defense again for Armstrong. Brust trying to go around left side of goalie. Lost it in front of the goal. And a whistle and a call. And the officials trying to get together. I think it's going to stay with Centennial. And it is. It's going to come out away from goal, but into the stick of Sam Lund. Lund getting a lot of playing time here in the latter stages of this first half. Coach Nelson looking to go with about 18 players, and Lund with the shot just off right side of the goalie, Snow. So a third goal, that time back-to-back goals with Tashner and now Sam Lund.
Number 12,
no hesitation again, Rosie.
Lund.
Right. She broke through the defense and just took the shot right away, didn't hesitate at all, and that's what she needed to do.
Now it's down to a 6-point deficit. Lund, the sophomore, she'll be one of those 18 that might find her way out there. Megan Long and off the bench as well. Nana Mitsuishi, Kelsey Kobold, Kayla Henderson, Matea Barrett, some of the non-starters that might be a big factor. And Centennial winning a draw at the 5:18 mark. Sprinting down the right-hand side with Carly Tashner, who had a goal already in this first half. So Centennial trying to work into the offense. To be patient, control the ball. Turning a spin towards the goal for Lund again, and she slings it too wide. Right past Jenna Brolin. We talked about the back defense for Armstrong. As you see Kaylee Roy, she's one of the experienced players for Armstrong. But there are 2 rookies out there, even 2 lacrosse on the defensive side. That's Hannah Sasic and Holly Enderly. Enderly with a hockey and soccer background. Sasic was a basketball player. And now they do a good job in front of net to take it away. Lost it for a moment. And Centennial gets it right back. 4:19 to go. Centennial down by 6. keeping the ball in the offensive zone. Another shot, right of goal, no good. The rebound still loose and free. Armstrong kicks it once, and finally they'll pick it up back behind net. Running along with it. Kaylee Reinhardt trying to look upfield. She's still got it in her stick and actually goes behind. Cycles through and gets Kaylee Roy. Running pass. So Centennial now with the swarming defense. Trying to keep it in the zone. Second pass out for Armstrong. Dangerous territory here in transition for Centennial. Armstrong beat him here a couple of times. Kristen Page with it, then lets it fly. Catherine Stockdale off right side. Stockdale. Now the patience for Armstrong after Centennial did a good job in transition to get back. Whistle. And we'll keep it here. See where they place it. I think they're going to bring it out from behind net. Talking with Natalie Fremming there for Armstrong. And Courtney Radke on defense for Centennial in white. Instead, it's going to go into the hands of Mariah Haberly. Just off left side. So Haberly, a sprint in and a quick shot, and it goes off left side of goalie and in. So an answer for Armstrong as Haberly finds the back of the net for the first time. Quick step, no hesitation. Defense couldn't get there. And the shot goes down low against Georgia.
It has been some time since Armstrong has taken some shots and gotten them numbers on the board, but up to 10, double
just
digits.
Over 7 minutes, which considering they scored 5 goals in the span of 2 minutes, 6 in about 3. Really tells you Centennial has turned it on here in the last 10 to 11 minutes.
Well, they hadn't played a game yet this season, so getting used to playing with each other out there outside of practice, I'm sure they are getting a little more comfortable.
10-3, a draw originally won by Armstrong, but back to Centennial. And they'll try and parlay that into some time in their offensive zone. Off left side for Armstrong. They've done most of their attacking right up the middle. As Rosie mentioned, with some of those long passes out of goal for Georgie. But now an attack off the side. Bruce will attack. Heading to the middle of the field. Tries to get to the right side of goal, and I think she caught a stick to the chest or
ouch,
stick somewhere.
No fun.
So she'll keep it.
Can she
straight
capitalize?
Shot. Absolutely. She's got a straight shot at the goal if she can get 2 quick steps. We haven't seen Bruce score just yet. She's had some chances that time. Snow up to the task and gathers it in one-on-one. Don't see the goalie win one-on-one too much, but that time.
That was a great save by Snow, especially because it was head-on.
Now everybody's staring at the official. Trying to get Bruce to give her some more space. You take a look at the shot attempt by Bruce. She was right there, and I think maybe some pressure from the defense, but generally one-on-one, that might have slowed her down a bit, and you see it go off the heel of the stick of Snow, the goalkeeper. Quickly back the other way into the offensive zone. Miranda Culber dropped it once, twice, 3 times, then picked it up again. She has it deep behind net. 10-3 with 1:18 remaining in the first half. Centennial, much better job since the 17:40 mark of just about everything in this game. They've won some draws. They played better defense. Some great stops in goal. Armstrong gets it right back. Spin around the right side, and the ball is tipped away. With 1 minute to go. Armstrong will keep. There in the hands of Mayuli Chamlinsuk. The longer names you'll see.
I was going to let you pronounce that.
Yeah, I had to get about 3 people before someone would actually was daring enough to attempt to tell me how to say it. Chamlinsuk. Coach Moyer said they just call her MC, so we might go with that too. She had it for a moment.
Nickname.
39 seconds left. Centennial, another chance to scratch back within 6. That's as close as they've been since they went down 8-0. They're down 7 right now. All the way down the field, the ball scooped away, still loose in behind net. Armstrong holds, 25 seconds to go. See how aggressive they want to be. I think they just want to get it out from around that net, but too strong, and it's going to go out of bounds, and Centennial will have another chance with 19 seconds to go. See who this ends up with. Brust is yet to score, but we've seen her with some very strong moves in front of the net. Wouldn't be surprised to see her get a touch. Right now she's in midfield. Instead off the right side. It's going to be Carly Tashner. She does have a goal in this game, and then a shot as she fed it off left side. And I believe that was Sam Lund again, getting her second goal of the game.
What a perfect timing with 10 seconds left, taking that shot.
Tashner going up to her right as you see the pass, maybe a little bit behind her, but she gathers it in. She washed it all the way into the stick and then flung it to the net. And that's some of the offense that the Cougars would like to see. And they get their fourth goal, and they're back down by 6 with, as Rosie mentioned, 10 seconds to go.
Sam Lund now having 2 goals.
Number 12, Sam Lund.
Excuse me, that was Lund off the pass from Tashner. You're right. Tashner with one, Lund with 2. Centennial gets it back again with 2 seconds left. Can they get a shot away? I don't know if they know the time, and they didn't get the shot away.
Right. I don't think they knew.
Lund had it, and if you fling it towards the net, you never know, and she couldn't get it quite out of the stick. So a huge start to the game for Armstrong. 8 straight goals out of the gates within the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and then it was a little bit more even, but Centennial down by 6 at the half. The Armstrong Falcons leading Centennial 10-4 on North Metro TV.
Known for its vineyards and hilltop villages, Umbria is also known for its delicious tasting pizza. Made traditionally from the finest ingredients, Umbria Pizzeria will make you taste the difference, smell the love, and transport you to Italy.
La cena è pronta. Dinner's ready.
You might even begin to feel like an Italian.
Delicioso.
Umbria Pizzeria, turning taste into memories.
If you need seamless gutters, whether the job is large or small, you can say,
I know a guy!
For your full-service landscaping, you can say,
I know a guy!
If you need commercial or residential lawn care, you can say,
I know a guy! I'm Charlie Walker, and if you need professional seamless gutters, landscaping, and lawn care, you can say, I know a guy!
In the nation, our agents are always there, helping make sure that when your life changes, your nationwide insurance coverage changes too. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation where protection is personal.
Nationwide is on your side.
In Anoka County, contact Twin Cities Insurance Group, your nationwide insurance agent.
With gold at an all-time high, take that rope and say bye-bye. Earrings, bracelets, rings, and chains. We buy gold at your exchange. Don't send your gold to someone strange. We buy gold at your exchange. Spring Lake Park, Frilly Blade. We buy gold at your exchange.
Join Ben Hale every Friday on North Metro TV News.
Well, with you once again at Centennial High School. Second half action on the way. High school girls lacrosse. It's 10-4. The Armstrong Falcons, you can tell they got off to a dominating start in this game, scoring the first 8 goals. But 4 of the next 6 came for the Centennial Cougars. So they'll try and keep that going, but they lose a draw with the starters back out there for Armstrong. And we'll see how the Centennial defense can hold up now, going left to right. In goal, yet again, is Alicia Georgie. And she had some great stops later on in the second half. It was just too much of an onslaught early on. We'll go into some of that. 24 at 37 remaining. J.W. Cox, Rosie Erickson here on North Metro TV. Gorgeous evening coming to a close, and a first shot again for Armstrong, and they get the goal quickly. Just like that, it's Amy Master. She scored the 3rd goal of the game. Master gets goal number 1, make it 11-4. And just like we saw earlier in this game, Rosie, penetration towards the net, maybe one extra pass, and a quick shot finds the net.
Right, we saw that a lot at the beginning of the game. We're certainly going to need to see Centennial bring the heat right about now.
And they did just that over the final 17 minutes and 40 seconds of the first half. It was the first 2:20 in which Armstrong had an 8-0 lead. But then over the final 17:40, it was 4-2 in favor of Centennial. They're going to have to find a way to bottle that up sooner rather than later. It's poked away from Brust as some swarming defense from those starters yet again. It's picked up by Kaylee Reinhardt for Armstrong. And you count the red jerseys if you can. They're all just headed right for the net. Goes into the hands of Hatton. Slings it off one pass, and then Verbetten picks up another goal. And the starters out there yet again, Rosie, are just making mincemeat of that defense in front of the net.
This looks familiar. That is the third for Verbetten, I believe. Look at her just penetrate once again and take that shot. Third goal for Verbetten.
Another great pass from Hatton that time, who has a couple of goals herself. And Verbetten scored back-to-back goals in the first. And now gets the second here at the 24:02 mark. And maybe Centennial was lulled to sleep just a bit by what happened at the end of the first half. Certainly going to have to come out here and work quickly. Double team, ball tapped away, but they're going to stay. It stays with Centennial. As that was Maddie Kuntz right in the middle of the action. And she'll pick it right back up as you see her there. Pink headband, pink goggles. Kuntz tries to step inside the defense, had it poked away again by those same two defenders, scooped up off the ground and then loose. Brust, make it Brust, picks it up, weaves her way through the defense, gets to the front of the net. There was a little bit of a knee up there to try and clear some space. Again, still spinning with it, that time poked away. And a stick to the head. And so we'll see. He pointed towards Armstrong, so Armstrong's going to take it. As it was the inadvertent stick, I suppose they called it on Bruce, so it comes back the other way for Armstrong. And they go left side. Again, right to Verbetten, straight in towards the goal. She's tripped up for a moment, but maintains possession. Back into the middle of the field. Another shot by Lund is stopped that time by Georgie. Great stop. Looked to wind up and fire it down. Should have. It's taken right out of the air by Master. Swinging around net. Had an opening. Had it blocked away by Georgie. Armstrong keeps. They'll reset. Georgie with the dangerous turnover there. Keeps the ball in the zone. Hatton headed for the net. Goes off right side. There for Verbetten. Back to swing it around to Hatton. And Armstrong will settle it in. Now attack from the left side. A shot goes over the right side arm of Georgie, the goaltender. And that's Kaylee Reinhardt picking up her first goal of the day. Third in a row to start the second half. As you see Reinhardt, everybody was slowed down. She took a hesitation step, dove in towards the net, and poured it in over right side of the make it left side of the goalie.
Armstrong starting the second half very consistent and strong once again.
Not the start Centennial was looking for. They were down by 6 just about 3 minutes ago, and now find themselves down by 9 once again. Another pass right in front of the goal, in and out of the stick of Haley Holdall. Maybe she was too close in there. Fortunate for Georgie, I don't think she would have much of a shot to block anything from that range. Holdall, good job to recover though, and Armstrong will reset. Spin around the outside. Shot off right side, basically right off the foot, and Master, her second of the half, her third of the game. And it was 4 straight goals. It turned out to be 8 straight goals for Armstrong to start the first, and now they've got 4 as you see Master hitting the net for the second time, going low right past that right side knee. You see a little bit of frustration there
Looks
in
like
front of the goal for Centennial as well.
Centennial Cougars are switching their goalkeeper.
The other goalkeeper on the roster. Well, now we've got a good shot there. I believe that's Mariah Gagno. In goal. Gagno, the other goalkeeper listed. So Georgia will sit down. Master scores to make it 14-4. It is the largest lead of the game now at 10. It was the largest before that had been 8 a couple of different times. 21-16 to go here in this second half. And Centennial, any thoughts of a comeback? Armstrong looking to put those away early. Might be blinded by the offensive explosion of Armstrong as again they dive in towards the goal. A whistle's going to slow them down, but last year a very good defensive team as well. They allowed just 55 goals. That was tied for the fewest in the conference with Coon Rapids. There's going to be a yellow card against Centennial. And that is Kaylee Colvard trotting off the field for a bit. Clock rolled for a moment, standing at 20:35, and so the senior defender will sit down as the official goes over to check in with the official scorekeeper.
So, you know, I know soccer a little better than I know lacrosse, but a yellow card doesn't mean you have to go out in soccer. It just means it's a warning. If you get a red card, then you're out for a few games. What does it mean in lacrosse?
I'm pretty sure she's just out. It's more like the penalty on the boys' side. The penalty on the boys' side would be about either 30 seconds, a minute, minute 30. So it's one of those more major type penalties, not exactly akin to the yellow card like you were mentioning in soccer, being just a warning and then, of course, a red card throwing you out. It's somewhere in between.
I see. Yeah, I know. Lacrosse is that sport that's a mixture of
a lot of different things.
Sports.
And we've talked about for Armstrong, a couple of players playing different sports and coming in. Coach Moyer talking about in particular is one defender, Holly Enderly. She has a soccer and hockey background, which we're just talking. That's kind of both the sports you need to come in and play lacrosse. And he said it hasn't taken her very long at all to pick right up.
And it's great practice then.
Put a few seconds, back on the clock here in stadium. So it's 20:40 to go right now with 14-4 your score here in the second half. As the clock ran a little bit after the yellow card. Most of it's a running clock, of course, throughout, except for the dead ball whistles. That'll slow it down. And after a goal, another shot coming right in that time. New goalie, no matter, as Kaylee Reinhardt finds the back of the net again. More ball movement. Reinhardt, her second goal this half for her 2 in the game. And you see it in hockey going right through the 5-hole there. Down low off the bounce.
Unfortunate for Gagno, the defensive team wasn't exactly in position to block Reinhardt's shot.
Anytime you see the penalty, any type of penalty, whether it's major or a minor, you just get to reset and basically have a running shot at the goal. And Armstrong has made the most of those chances. So they make it 15-4. 5 unanswered goals. Remember, they started with 8 unanswered. And then wasn't sure if that's what was happening in the first half, but it certainly seems like how they've come out in the second with the starters. Maybe calling off the Dogs just a little bit after that 8-0 start. But here again, the starters are right back out, imposing their will, as it were, on Centennial, pulling the goalie for the Cougars. And now Robbinsdale being patient again and spinning it around. A whistle will stop that pursuit. Repositioning of everyone. Ball's in the stick of Kelsey Osdick over there. She scored the 4th goal of the game. Her only goal so far. A lot of multi-goal goal scorers. Holdahl had the first 2. Master with 2 in here in the second and 1 in the first. Reinhardt 2 in the second. Verbetten with 3. Lund with a pair as well. On the deck for just a moment. 11-point lead. Largest of the game and expanding for Armstrong. I think you can see, Rosie, why Coach Moyer is thinking state tournament or bust for this team.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Centennial, as we've mentioned a couple of times, this is basically not only just their first game, this is their first real field time together for an extended time.
Right.
At the very least, their first in about 20 days. So not the greatest gauge, I think, of either A, how dominant Armstrong can be, or B, how competitive Centennial can be here today. As Maddie Kuntz back in. With Armstrong wheeling it around. It's certainly going to be interesting to keep an eye on what Robbinsdale Armstrong can do. They'll have some key matchups with some other ranked teams. And a lot of those postponed or switched on the schedule and will come later, namely a matchup against Coon Rapids, which was one of those other top teams last year. That'll be their last game of the season. Right in front of the goal, shot saved that time by Gagno, and that's a good one, saved off the stick of Haley Holdall. That's set up just about perfect. And now Centennial, for one of the few times in this half, had it in the offensive zone but threw it away. Picked up off the deck by Stephanie Olson. So the game against Coon Rapids. Of course, they'll have a rivalry game against Robbinsdale Cooper. But then you look at some of the other competitive teams, or the top teams coming up on the 8th of May. Armstrong will take on Champlain Park. And won't get any easier for Centennial. 8-1 team last year, Coon Rapids. Their opponent on the road to start next week. 17:14 to go. Some slower pace this second half. We've had a lot of longer whistles. Not much slowed on the pace for Armstrong, though, as they've got 5 straight goals, and Centennial still trying to scratch one out. Long pass right into the front of the net. Past the goalie Gagno. She lets it go after pursuing for a moment, but Centennial will take over. So 8 straight goals to start. 8 goals in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And
Incredible.
Centennial looking on the wrong side, and that's a tough run to come back from. You know, when you look at lacrosse, and you can score a lot of goals. Talking with Coach Nelson for Centennial last year, they gave up a lot of goals, and they were scoring a lot of goals. He knows this year they have to tighten up the defense, as you could see here. But he mentioned to me that, you know, give up 12 goals in a game against a good team, that's not anything to wring your hands about as long as you can score 13.
Right. That's a good theory.
You're going to see a lot of double figure both way lacrosse matches.
Yeah, you know, I had been to a few last year, but this is the highest scoring I've been to, but they've all been up there.
You look at the sectional loss when they lost in the second round to Matamidi. Centennial last year, the finals 24-13. Matamidi got the win. Their first round win, 25 total goals. A 13-12 victory over Totino Grace, so there you go. They allowed 12, but scored 13. Ball taken away by Armstrong as dusk settling in here at Centennial High School. The lights just taking their effect. No more shadows on the field. A breakaway up out in front, that time for Kelsey Osdig. Looked for her second goal and just went wide. He's got 2 red shirts, maybe 1 defender in white, and the goalie. Never a good sign. Armstrong will go right into the front of the net for Amy Master, looking for her 3rd goal of the half. Lost it down on the deck. Another shot put in and past the goalkeeper. That time it was Osdick. She nearly had a goal a moment ago and now does have her second. Kelsey Osdick makes it 16-4. Just a loose ball finally picked up and then scooped forward.
Cougars trying to defend there, but Armstrong was not letting up until they took that shot.
So Osdick scored back at the 20:39 mark in the first. Now at the 14:49 mark in the second to make it 16-4. 6 unanswered here in the second. I wonder if they get to 8 again and then see what happens. Just a very, very experienced Armstrong team, and again they win a draw. The whistle, but they'll keep it. We were talking about some of the scores last year for the Centennial Cougars. A victory over Anoka, 17-16. Again, scored 17 goals in a win over Maple Grove, 17-12. Well, 17 seemed to be the lucky number. They beat Blaine 17-12 as well.
Wow.
21, though, against Andover last year. 21-11. Armstrong beat them last year 15-5. So some of those top teams, you saw Armstrong get the victory over Centennial. Coon Rapids beat them 14-4. So they may be a team just looking to make a step at some point somehow to try and get them to that upper echelon. The shot on goal rather goes too high for Amy Master.
Nearly an empty net if she would have been able to keep that ball.
Centennial with Megan Longan behind net, lost it away. Another chance again for Armstrong, and that one turned away. Turned away by Gagnon, and she needs time to fix a brace. You think there's any difference between those knee pads and a catcher's knee pads? They look exactly the same.
Right.
What if you get ridiculed if you go out on a lacrosse field with catcher's knee pads, or vice versa, I guess. Need all the padding you can get. There's another shot. That time goes right inside that right knee pad of Gagnon. The shot off the stick of Kaylee Reinhardt. That's her third this half. 17-4.
Here's their lucky number, 17. You might succeed.
Yet again, Armstrong scoring at the 13-15 mark. So it's taken them a little more time to get 7 straight goals. And we'll see about an 8th. But again, 2 halves starting with extended goal runs. You're not going to lose many games.
4 for Master alone. 4 goals for Master
in this game. Reinhardt with 3 as well.
Just racking up the stats. Starting early in the season.
Stuffers. It's going to look great for all of these Armstrong Falcons. And an offsides call will bring it back the other way. So pretty much only the whistles in this second half have slowed down the Falcons' attack with 12:25 and counting. Each team looked for the weather to cooperate. We said Centennial, they take on Coon Rapids on Monday. It's a trip to Maple Grove for Armstrong as they start out with 3 straight on the road in conference. Anoka, their next destination next Wednesday, will be Maple Grove in here on Wednesday. The first day of May. Take on Centennial. See the officials. It's like I've said before. That's what I mean by fluid. It's always position here, position there. It's another way. It's a little bit different and more complicated than some other sports.
Right.
You know, there's about what 3-4 places to take a ball out of bounds in basketball. If the ball goes out of bounds, you take it out here.
Yeah, and it's also confusing for me since I didn't play lacrosse because of all the lines out there. You know, not only is it a football field, it's a lacrosse field, soccer field. How many? And they're all out there. All the lines are ready. So I guess it's color coordinated.
Right.
Yellow's lacrosse.
We're looking for the yellow. And I think most of that's soccer too. Same kind of dimensions there.
Yeah.
You see the inadvertent stick to the face. She's okay.
I'm
Good
okay.
sportsmanship. That's Kaylee Leroy. Check her out here, just scooping for it, and caught it right under the bridge of the nose. That can't feel good. Captain Obvious. So Centennial will have it. After the inadvertent stick, Annie Burns. Instead of attacking, she spins it right back out. That's a huge difference you've seen between Centennial and Armstrong.
Right.
If that was Armstrong, they'd just run right for the net. Maybe Burns has to start thinking that way. And something else Coach Nelson said about his team, there might be some scorers out there, but they might be too timid to think about that.
Armstrong absolutely plays confidently.
There's a shot up and over and in, as it was Maddie Kuntz who spent some time on the bench just a moment ago, but Kuntz gets the first goal, so it won't be 2 strings of 8 in this game for Armstrong. As you see Kuntz, just a little bit of a hop going up over the top and finds it past the stick of Isabel Snow.
Well, we could say them waiting to attack. They were successful by passing, so maybe they just play differently.
Number 34,
You can still have that mindset too. You know, I mean, just we'll go back to the basketball reference. You know, you make an extra pass from time to time, but you don't make an extra pass just for passing's sake. That time is a good pass to get an open look, and you can't be afraid to take that look at the net. So Armstrong winning of a draw, coming back up by 12. The clock's going to spin under 10 minutes. Armstrong, believe in their overall record. And they're looking to get that win in conference, as you see our friend MC there to start with it. Make her way into the middle of the field, all the way across net. Put it deep inside. And it's not just the shots for Armstrong that you notice are confident. Like that pass right there was mishandled for a bit, but a confident pass inside. Now, this isn't going to be tapped away. It's going to get right where I want it.
And just winning the draw, they've won 17 out of the 24.
That'll do it for you.
Exactly.
That's the way they put the onslaught on in the first half. Much the same here in the second. You always have the ball on offense as it bounces around a little bit on Gagnon, but she finally corrals it. Sling it up the field, mishandled for a moment by Centennial, and Armstrong takes it right back. Off the run, left side, Verbetten. I think maybe conditioning is going to be the only thing early on that might hamper Armstrong, because they like to run. They like to play with a small core unit as the ball is tapped up and through. That time tipped off the stick, so nearly a save for Gagnon, but it drops in instead.
Bounced right over her.
The 18th goal of the night.
Scoring for Armstrong, number 8.
As Kelsey Ostick gets her third of the game. She just goes up top, and again.
Tough loss there. Bounced off the stick, bounced over her head, just barely in the net.
You talk about seeing some high-scoring games, Rosie, and maybe not seeing some. Put 26 lines on my score sheet here to keep track of the goals, and I've only got 3 to go.
Oh, wow.
So we'll see what Armstrong and Centennial have in store here. Armstrong takes it away. Ostick coming right back down on the right side. She's been in the heart of things, the 2 goals in this half. 3 in the game, so scoring some late. Of course, you could say a lot of these players have been in the heart of things. Another attempt, back over left side, turned away. Low shot, basically kicked away by Gagnon. So she's getting some quality time in net. 7:50 remaining. Centennial at least moves it out of the zone for a moment. A whistle. And it's going to come back to Armstrong. Haley Hatton going to start with it as soon as her teammates get situated by the official. The running clock here down to 7:29. One quick pass back to Ostick. So if the one question for Armstrong, even throughout the season, were to remain how well the defense could hold up back near the net, I think, Rosie, they've certainly got the offense to make up for any shortcomings they might have on defense.
Oh, yeah. You can even tell by last season how many points they score or goals they score a game.
Shot goes inside, and again, another goal off right, and again, for the second straight time, it's Kaylee Ostick putting in the goal.
For Armstrong, number 8, Kelsey Ostick.
Ostick off the bounce. And it's just becoming academic at this point. Thought maybe down by 6, as close as they'd been. Centennial would have a chance in the second half, but 7 straight goals to start it, and then 2 more. Scoring 9 times to the 1 for Centennial in this second half for Armstrong. And they're running into a good team. Let's make no mistake about it. The Cougars, a top 10 team in the state. The draw flubbed just a bit.
Certainly a tough team to play your first game of the season.
Hi, welcome to the season.
Right. Especially if you're a rookie.
Here's a team that they had a goalkeeper in there that's going to be in goal for the first time really this season.
Right.
Welcome to the season. Here's a team that's probably going to fight for a state championship. You have to play somebody. Centennial into the offensive zone for one of the few times here in this final 25 with 5:40 remaining of that. Like they're still working, trying to improve and get better. Siraki straight in towards the net. I think she got it in there, but first a whistle, and that's going to bring it back.
Just before the shot.
Des Siraki, a key part of the volleyball squads in her time here at Centennial High School. She's been on North Metro TV before, and she fires it back in there. And Siraki finds the back of the net. A couple little hand claps. Their second goal of the half, and Siraki's second, and she did. She just got a running start and basically did the same thing she did before the whistle.
Right. Look at all the red jerseys. The Falcons tried to collapse. They did a good job, but she took the shot just on time.
Suraki gives the fans here at Centennial a little bit of a reason to cheer with her second goal of the game. 19-6. As far as scoring 20 goals, one time last year, Armstrong scored 20. It was in their sectional first-round game against St. Cloud area. They scored 19 a couple of times. Win over Elk River. Their next round game was 19. They were a high-scoring team in those sectionals. 39 goals in their first two games, and they lost to a team that scored 17 goals in Minnetonka. So certainly a scoring barrage, even as scoring barrages go here in girls lacrosse. With Metro TV, J.W. Cox and Rosie Erickson, with 3:50 remaining. Centennial trying to weave through that defense. There, a misstep. It's going to be scooped up. Ostick lobs it to the front. MC, the shot goes off a Centennial Cougar who was in the right spot to be in front of the net to provide some help for the goalie. Ostick picks it up again, though. Couple of fakes right then left. And now a whistle and a penalty. So that'll be scooped up by Lund. Make it Stephanie Olson there to move it forward. And I believe it's going to be Ostick who's going to start with it. Just in front of Olson there. Ostick. She'll spin it back out. 3 minutes remaining, 19-6. Coach Moyer was talking about their 18-5 loss to Blake, and they turned it over quite a bit. Just didn't play a great game against Blake, and he was talking about washing the taste of that out of his mouth. So I suppose Armstrong has certainly done that here tonight.
What a turnaround, though, from losing to coming to 19-6 currently.
Lose by 13, win by 13. Make it 14. As there's another goal off right side of goalie for, that was Miranda Kalber. And Kalber, I believe that's the second time we've called her name. As you take a look, just coming from behind the net. Just quick shots. All of a sudden she's in scoring position. She barrels it through. Armstrong, 10 goals in the first, 10 goals in the second.
Something interesting we can note as well is that the fact that they lost by that much in their first game, seeing that Centennial is losing by this much, they still can win their second one by, 15 points.
Absolutely.
Or goals. I keep saying points, I really want to go with the basketball thing.
Coon Rapids, watch out. If the trend can hold for these two teams, that's the next opponent for Centennial. That is Culver's first goal, by the way. 2:10 to go. I thought maybe she had scored one in the first. Almost too many to list.
Right.
Multiple goals. Holdall had the first two. Ostick, a couple here in the second and one in the first. For Benton, same story. Master, 2 here in the second, 1 in the first. Hatton with a couple in the first for Armstrong. Lund scored 2 for Centennial. Siraki with 1. Coons with 1. Siraki with 2. Tashner with 1. For all the goal scoring. And we could be here till tomorrow if we want to show you all the highlights with 26 total goals. And give Centennial credit for settling in at the end of the first half. That's the team they certainly want to be, and now they get another goal.
Brolin getting that goal. Building a little confidence, although it is the end of the game, towards the end. Still nice to get that stat for herself.
But as you mentioned, with the clock running down, scoring about the 102 mark there. First game, let's improve.
Right.
And they're improving all the way through. This one's going to come to a close in 40 seconds, so pretty much after this draw.
We saw them score a goal in that amount, so I'm sure they can do it again.
That's true. Very late in that first half, scoring a goal with just 10 seconds to go. Good save inside to keep them thinking about that goal. Now with 20 seconds left, they'll go to 0-1 with some things certainly to work on. And a little bit of time with the weekend and then a game on Monday. We'll see what the practice schedule is. I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to actually get outside and practice. 10 seconds to go. Centennial looked to just fire a shot. They didn't get a shot off late in that first half. One extra pass taken away by Armstrong, and that is going to do it here from Centennial High School. The horn sounds 20-7. Armstrong with a dominating performance, Rosie, and basically it comes down to Centennial has some things to work for.
Well, we saw them both finish strong, though. You know, Centennial scoring that last goal, so that will build their confidence.
Centennial with some things to work on, but some confidence builders, as Rosie just said. Lots of goals late in the second half, but just too much. Falcons here in this game. Robbinsdale Armstrong scores 8 goals to start the game, 7 to start the second half, and they win it 20-7. For everyone here at North Metro TV, more lacrosse, boys and girls, and all spring sports. Now that we've got the weather cooperating, still to come here on North Metro. Your final once again from Centennial High School. The Cougars 7, the Armstrong Falcons 20. Have a good night, everybody.